Well, good morning. I thought I would jump on here really quickly and say hello. It is Tuesday, and I just got back from breakfast with Glenda. Today, and actually yesterday, I started my fast, and I am fasting hopefully for 100 hours. It isn't the first of the month, though, because when I wanted to fast at the beginning of January, it was not a good idea because I feel like I was pretty low on protein and possibly potassium. I'm not sure, but I just didn't feel like it was super necessary at that time. So I did it. That's the cool thing about fasting is like, it's just how your body is reacting, and how your body feels should determine the kind of fast that you do. So being on dialysis, I have to be very careful because I cannot fast too much, really, because my dialysis itself is pulling out proteins and potassium and calcium and all the stuff that I'm putting in my body. It wants to pull out. But I mean, of course, there's excess, so it's not like I'm starving myself to death at all. But I do just have to be very cautious and listen to my body, as we all should, in the event that I am needing to eat a little bit. So I'm a big fan of fasting. My medical team knows I fast. They actually are fine with it. I think overall, people are jumping on board with fasting, at least intermediate fasting. There are those extreme people who like to do like water fasts, or fast where you drink water only, or I don't know. I had one guy who said that he didn't drink water for like 3 days or something like that, like chaos. I don't think that's really good for you, because we definitely have to have water, even though we don't really need to have food as excessively as we eat it here in America. So I'd be a little cautious about that, but I do a regular fast, I guess. Or maybe I should just call it the dialysis fast. Now, first of all, I do drink coffee because nobody wants to die. I am addicted to coffee, but I have found really good creamers. Like Chobani is a good creamer because it's actually heavy cream, and that's better. Don't let people tell you no. That's better than any of the other creamers that are chemically filled with sweeteners and other things that are just chaos for your body. And a lot of times, seed oils. So I choose Chobani. It is pricier, but that's probably the biggest thing I splurge on. So I don't go to coffee shops and get coffee. Once in a while I will, but typically I just drink my coffee at home. I do tea as well. So those who fast will tend to think like, that's breaking a fast. And technically, yes, it is breaking a fast, but I don't want to kill people, so I need to drink the coffee, and that's the only thing I'm doing and consuming. I also have to listen to my body, because I take vitamin D, and so sometimes I'll take like a morsel or a bite of food just to eat it so that I can take my vitamin D with it, but not necessarily. Like, typically that's not what I do. So I typically don't take any of my vitamins during the week of me fasting, but sometimes I will, but I don't know. I don't think I really dwell on that part. I'm just mostly looking at regenerating my body through fasting. And that's what fasting does. It literally cleans out the storage that we have in our bodies, because we all carry extra storage, and it's able to flush that out, create new cells, build new cells, really rejuvenate your body. So that's why I like the fasting. And it makes me feel good. Like yesterday, I was not hungry. I did think about food, though, quite a bit, because your mind just naturally thinks about food. Like, what should I make for dinner? But I didn't make dinner. So, I did do a workout, which is incredible. Like, so many things yesterday. First of all, I did all the laundry and folded it and put it away, which was really only one load, but still, that's ginormous. Then I did an RPM workout on my bike, which is 45 minutes worth of really working out. And that was super cool. And then I also hit my 8,000 steps for the day, which was awesome. And that was before my RPM. So there's that. And then I fasted. So, I mean, like, yesterday was a really good day. I didn't feel hungry until probably about 10:30 or 11 at night, because I had a question that asked if I work out when I fast. And I can, and I have, and I did. But at about 10:30, I did start to feel hungry, and Donnie got home from band practice, so he started to make himself some scrambled eggs. And I tell you, when you fast, your nose starts picking up on smells that you never even realize, I think, when you're just regularly eating. Because I know that one of my neighbors was making frijoles, because I could taste it almost in the air. Like, somebody was cooking some Mexican food somewhere in the complex, and I could smell that. Yesterday, while I was out and about, I went by Walmart, and I thought I was smelling the Burger King, but the Burger King in the Walmart was closed. So I think what I was smelling was across the street, there was a donut shop, and I could smell that like real quick. Or sometimes I'll be doing something and I'll smell French fries. So that's just what happens when you fast, which I think is really cool, because that's your body like recognizing smells instead of it just constantly being around and in the air. You're like intentionally noticing it instead of it just being every day, right? So Donnie cooked it late, and I smelled the food, and I was like, I kind of feel a little hungry, but I was so worn out from working out that I literally just fell asleep. And this morning when I met Glenda for breakfast, I told her that I was fasting, but depending on how I felt, I might eat a little bit, but I ended up not eating anything. In fact, I'm not hungry right now, and it's about 11:30. So I think that I'm doing pretty good this time. There are a couple times when I fast where the next day it's just constant hunger, constant like thinking of it. It's like a burden or an addiction that happens in my brain, and I have to really push through, but this time is not that case. So I'm really excited about that, because that means that I have a handle on my mental part of eating. Because that's the battle. Like, you can get hungry and sometimes you feel kind of nauseous or dizzy. To me, that means that you're either dehydrated or you're actually withdrawing from all those chemicals. I don't tend to have that issue because I don't really consume that kind of food anyways. So for me, it will probably be hunger pains that I have to push through. But mostly it'll be the mental game, because in America, all we do is think about eating, meeting up with friends and eating, having dinner specials. You know what I mean? Like, it's just who we are as a culture. So I am glad to know that this time it looks like I'm going to be fine. I'm not even having much mental struggle with anything. Even at the restaurant when we were eating breakfast, I was fine. Like, I didn't feel like I really wanted Glenda's food. So I think I'm doing good. But that'll take me through Thursday, which is fine. Although tonight I'm not sure, because, like, again, part of living is hanging out and eating together. And so Donnie comes home tonight early enough for dinner. On Tuesdays, we usually have dinner, or we go out to eat or something cool. And we're not going to do that because I'm fasting. So I guess we'll just have to watch a movie, and I'll have to preoccupy myself with something else while he eats his dinner. I don't know. Or maybe he'll eat dinner on the way home and then I don't even have to smell it. That would be nice. Tomorrow night is the Deacon Jam, which means that I'll be over at Jeff's Pub. And that's easy because the food isn't that great. So I don't really need to have it. Sometimes I'll eat it though, just because I am craving some chicken wings, but I think I'll be okay for tomorrow. And then Thursday, I have Charlie. And so I have to make sure that he has something to eat for dinner, because after I pick him up from daycare, then we have dinner together. We do something kind of cool or fun, you know. I was thinking about maybe even going to the park if it's good weather and letting him run around a little bit and then coming home and eating. But the easy thing for him, and this hasn't happened in a long time because Ben is already 18, which means that I haven't had him to haul around for a good year, I would say, at least. But of course, when they get into teenage years, it's not a constant hauling around of the kid, you know? So I do find it more tempting to stop by, like Burger King, and get Charlie a little kid's meal than it is to bring him home and cook for him, because he's so tough to cook for because he's a toddler who is very specific. So Ben, when he was little, he only ate bread. Like, he's my carb kid. He'll eat a whole loaf of bread if you let him. I would buy those Costco containers of croissants, and he'd have it done in a day, 2 days. So he's just always been that carb kid. And then he went to chicken nuggets, and that's all he would eat. Charlie isn't that specific, but he is, like, he won't really eat scrambled eggs. He'll eat a burger, but mostly the bread, not the meat. I did buy him Arby's the other day to kind of try that out, and he was not into it. He did eat the bun. So yeah, I mean, he'll eat French fries though, which is gross because you know that it's going to be seed oils. So I try to do my own thing for him, but at the same time, it's kind of difficult, you know, to try to make him, fry him up homemade French fries for a toddler. Like, I don't know. I know some parents do it. And when you start off as your kid from the beginning eating that way, that's one thing, because that's your habit and their habit. But he goes to his parents and they eat pizza a lot. They eat a lot of fast food. I mean, they eat really good food because I would say my son's a foodie. So he likes really good quality food. But at the same time, Charlie's just, I don't know. He's tough to cook for. So I do find that. So Thursday, I don't think will be difficult because I just have to feed Charlie. And I might just go get him a banana and some crackers or something like that. Or a piece of bread and see how he does with that. I don't know. But then usually my fast is over around 1 a.m. or 2 a.m. on a Thursday morning, Friday morning. And then we'll see what happens on Friday. I mean, I may not feel like it, or I may go ahead and eat Friday evening with Donnie because, you know, we'll be together. It'll be an outing. Oh, actually, as a gig. So that might be what I do, but I might not. Who knows? So far, my focus is just listening to my body, drinking a bunch of water and teas because that's my thing right now since it's chillier weather. And then just seeing how it goes. So that's my life with kidney disease and fasting. All right, talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.